This is part 2 of the discussion of MIMIO that I've done and showing you all the things I do using the MIMIO tools. The MIMIO tools are very powerful. What we did last time was look at the top row of tools, and we're going to look at the bottom row of tools first here today, and then we're going to look at the gallery and other things. The first button I just pushed there that made that go down is the button in the bottom left corner. Very valuable tool because it gets rid of the MIMIO tools, which can get kind of big. There's another way to do it, which I'll show you in a later video, that's even more easy and smooth and actually gets rid of the tools rather than have the little box. The next is what's called the Markup Mode. And what this does, and this is one of my favorite tools, is you can put a worksheet up on the board or anything in any other program, in Word, in PowerPoint, or on Internet Explorer, or whatever the case, and if you hit that button, that Markup Mode, you're able to write on it. See, right now, if I try to write with that pen, I can't do it. It's not allowing me to write with the pen. But if I hit the Markup Mode, you can see the little green line around the outside. That tells me it's in Markup Mode. And it's like taking a picture of the screen. What's going on, a picture is taken, and you're now allowed to write on it. So now I can go through and do whatever I want in all this screen. I can write on it. I can circle things on the tool, anywhere in Word, up on the tools, down in the bottom, anywhere I'm allowed to write. It's like writing over all this. So I can go through, it's very valuable. I do it when I pass out notes to my students, and then that they have to fill in, and so I'll bring those notes up onto my screen and then fill in the notes on the screen as I go so they can see them. Well, if you hit the button again, the markup goes away and you can see everything left my screen. Well, it doesn't go away though. That's the nice thing is they didn't go completely away. You can actually go find them if you click on the tab on the right and hit markups. Well, once I do that, it shows me and saves all these different markups that have happened. And if I go click on one of those, the first one is the one I just did. And if you can see, I've got a whole bunch of these saved on there. And every time you click on one, it comes up as into the MIMIO notebook and just a little bit smaller picture of the same thing. And so you can go through and do, it saves every one. I probably should go through and delete a lot of mine. I've actually used this a lot with a student of mine. She's got a severe ADD and has trouble concentrating in class, and so her counselor and mom asked me if I could always print off the notes that we do. And so every time I get done with her class, I go through the notes and I hit the markup, go to this screen, and I get the notes to bring back up, and then I print them off for her. And it's been very successful and very good for her. So the markup is something that I use all the time, and I really suggest it. It's great for the internet. You can get on the internet. If you've got a really cool thing for your class on the internet, you could bring that up in Internet Explorer and hit markup, and it would work really well. Okay, the next few things on the bottom, if you look at them, the one that's right after that was the right click, which we avoided. Or no, actually the next one was right click. The one after that is what's called a highlighter, or not a highlighter, but it will allow you to spotlight. Spotlight was the word they use, to spotlight what's going on. You can still write. You can see I can still write and see what I'm doing, but I can just now spotlight certain parts of your thing. I'm not 100% sure everything this can do. I've got to admit that I haven't used it much. But to get rid of it, you have to go back up to the top right-hand corner. That's maybe one of the reasons, because I can't reach my top right-hand corner from the screen, so I actually had to go to my computer to do that. The next one that I just pressed is this one. This one's pretty cool. This would be very good if you've got a series of 10 problems you want your students to do. You could show them the first one and then pull down that screen that blocks the screen and go through and do it. The next button on that bottom is the recorder button. That's what I'm using to record this. You can see that it says recording there. We are actually recording using that button. When I'm doing my videos, I actually have on my MIMIO pen, I've got one of my buttons programmed to use the recorder. And it's interesting, when I use it on the pen, it comes back up and pauses the recording. But when I pressed it there, it didn't pause, which is good for my video here, because I wouldn't have been able to talk about it if it would have paused like I did. The next button is designed, if you press it after the record button, it actually brings the Internet Explorer up inside your MIMIO, and so it's a way to get to the Internet Explorer. It's really not necessary because you can get there other ways through your computer. The last one allows you to go from interactive to non-interactive mode. Not too important, really. Okay, so now we're going to go up to the tabs, and we're going to the gallery tabs at the top. And if you click on gallery, you'll see that there's a bunch of different subjects you can pick. You can pick the math, which is obviously the one that I use because I'm a math teacher. And you can click, when you click on the math, it comes up as a bunch of different screens. And when you pick them, It'll allow you to have backgrounds or pictures. When I first came up, those were pictures. And then when it comes up now, they're backgrounds. And the difference is the background can't be resized. When you look at this background, it takes up the entire screen, whereas a picture can be resized. And so you can see all I can write's on that left side or on the right side. I can't really do a lot of writing. So to get past this, what I did is I created my own things in Word that I wanted to have up, and I wanted to be able to resize. And I did a grid, just a grid that I could use and resize and pull around. So the way you do that is you create that, you paste it into the MIMIO, and then you can just drag it into these pictures. And so that's what I did, and so you click on it, and you can see that's the grid that I used in a lot of my videos. Now I can resize this, and so I can do a lot of work on that screen and work on the thing. I created one in green. Right now our projector puts a pretty big glare on our board when I'm using the MIMIO with the white background, so I do a black background a lot. And so the green helps me. For a while there in geometry, we talked a lot about using the two parallel lines cut by transversal, so I made one of those that I could bring up and talk about. I did a number line. I'm looking at inequalities right now in Algebra 1, and that inequality helps. But this picture feature is something that I love about the MIMIO. Any picture that I create in Word or in PowerPoint, if you can group it together or in any way and copy and paste it, if you paste it in a MIMIO, it becomes a picture, and then you can save that picture. And I just think it's such a valuable thing. Any picture, for that matter, that you want to use. If you're in any subject, any teacher can do that. If you're a science teacher and you've got a picture of something you want up, you can paste it in a MIMIO, and it'll always be there. MIMIO will save it for you, and it's just one click to get it up. There are other graphs and the math that you can do. They've got three different kinds of three-dimensional graphs, and they've all the different kinds of graphs are good. They have different things. This ruler feature is very valuable for anytime you're trying to teach measurement. I really like the ruler feature. The protractor feature I love. Teaching using kids how to use a protractor can be tough. Having this allowed me to really help them understand how to use a protractor this year in geometry. I was really pleased with how well that worked and how much I was able to do there. It has other kinds of backgrounds. It has you can do stuff with different kinds of backgrounds like without axis, so just a grid. There's one that's got hexagons put together. I'm not real sure everything you'd use that for, but it could be valuable. I really like what we're going to look at here in a second, which are the polar graphs and stuff like that. These log graphs, I've never taught a class where I actually would want to have used a log graph like this, but if you did, if you do teach a class, they do have log graphs in there for you. The polar graphs are the one I like. I can imagine teaching pre-calculus and how valuable it would be to have those in them. Be able to quickly access the different polar graphs that you need. Being able to do one with a unit circle. Actually, that's something I was thinking in a pre-calculus class. If you could create a good unit circle picture, you could bring it in the MIMIO and just bring it up whenever you wanted. It would be a very, very valuable thing. All the other subjects have stuff too. Right now I went in social studies. I really like the stuff in social studies. Actually, one of my math teachers that I work with, she was doing the four-color problem, which if you've never studied, you can look up on the internet. But essentially what it is, you want to see if you can use four colors to color the entire United States without overlapping colors. And she was able to bring this picture up and use it. My wife was really excited about the periodic table of elements. I can imagine as a science teacher how you could use this, and you could teach a lot, and you wouldn't have to always bring down the maps with the periodic table, and you could write on it, and you can see a lot. This is something I'm going to look into using soon. One of the other math teachers, a real good math teacher in our school, he's very organized with how he does things, and he brings this paper down and tells his kids how he wants their work done on their paper, and he said it's really helped him out a lot. So, well, those are a few things that you can use the MIMIO for. I'm going to do some more things. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.